Right, in the bottom left, WGL 4 finals. He's one of the best players that ever played this tournament. A former newbie player, we call him the Necromancer. It's 1-0. But you know, sometimes history is a flat circle, and when 1-0 broke into the scene, he was kind of the same age. Then this guy is 17 years old, huge talent, but under a lot of pressure. It's Pink. Certainly his biggest tournament to date for the young undead protege. He's starting here in the upper right, of course, with a DK Ted Fiend build order, and we gotta say, today is the first patch with the Crypt Lord nerfs, and nobody is playing it but 1-0 with the Dreadlord.
Somebody's watching Side's stream. I love it. Dreadlord Fast Expo has definitely taken a back seat ever since the Crypt Lord patches came out, and the Crypt Lord just seemed to be doing everything the Dreadlord did better, and also more than the Dreadlord did, with summons and late game impale, crowd control and so on. But 1-0, you know, he's always been known to be experimental every now and then in his first hero choice, in his strategy choice, and especially if he feels that he's the way better player, will quite frequently go for these wacky strats, let's call them.
Yeah, and if he's getting too bold, if he's getting too confident in his skills, especially after the 3-2 win over Moon just minutes ago, maybe there's some space for Pink to exploit that and play just his very, very best with very, very standard strategies and not fall to the cheese. And we gotta say, this early game creep route is already a little exceptional.
Yeah. I like what Pink is doing, running across the map, getting something done. He was scouting properly as well against the opponent. And if he just was to go in now for harass, probably wouldn't accomplish much. He gets a bit of experience first, and then for the important camp, the gold mine creep, he would still be in time. But 1-0 takes his time and goes for the green here first. Almost level 2 already. Also Mantle, more mana for the Dreadlord, not bad. And now for Pink, it's all about trying to do as much damage as you can, stealing some lasses perhaps, and very importantly, don't get sleep surrounded.
Yeah, that is not supposed to happen. Maybe even a staff would be great to have, to just portal to the rest of his army. He is teching pretty fast behind this. Dreadlord starts to creep now. Can there be some coil steals? We have the Vampiric Aura after the Dreadlord rise to level 2. Did he get it? I don't think
quite.
So.
It was a split second away. All the experience here so far goes to 1-0. And this seems to be working out rather well. The Ghoul even makes it away.
Yeah, I think you can clearly see that 1-0 is warmed up after these 5 maps over Moon. Yeah, the Overseer is still there, but Pink is retreating. The Skeletons are trying to do some damage, but not a real kill. Only a little bit of HP, and Ghouls have Vampiric Aura, so when they attack, they get 20% HP back.
It's going to be quick strides towards level 3 over here indeed. What's the item?
Harriet.
Pendant would be the best, of course. Parry-app for the Dreadlord, well, it's alright, not the greatest. And 1-0 taking his time here with the actual expansion with the Haunted Gold Mine, goes for 2 Ziggurats and a Necro first. How much gold is that going into buildings over here? It's like 250 for the Nerope and then 400 in total for the 2 and then... Oh my god, I can't even count that high so much gold.
It's summer, Remo. Don't overwork your brain. You will need it. Yeah, that's true. Very, very careful. A little bit Krav-esque with how he positioned this, and then even further, the Nerope Tower, of course, good protection. Necropolis gives you faster acolytes, and apart from that, it's a lot of ghouls. So looking forward to how this strategy unfolds. We got tier 2 for Pink. That's of course the big upside of his strategy.
A player's forces are under attack.
Whoa!
Yeah, against the Crypt Lord, we saw a lot of Dark Ranger second pressure with skeletons, and oh, here she is.
That seems to be the play against just undead mass, not really Crypt Lord specific, but just ghoul specific.
Yeah, it's the best hero if you want to pressure an early expansion on tier 2. So when you are on tier 2. By far the best hero for that. You get way earlier than the Lich. You can go for a bit of creeping, get skeletons quickly, and then by killing enemy units get more and more skeletons. Also, her damage isn't too bad. Pink pushing towards the main base, not towards the expansion, hoping that there's fewer towers there. But 1-0 did play it safe and went for at least one Nerop, and he doesn't have a graveyard, so he can't go for Spirit Towers.
Okay, it is slow, that's a little annoying, but of course we have a lot of wolves here as well. Smart play by Pink, who summons the illusions. Of course, 1-0 should be aware now that this is happening. Sleep on the DK, so there can't be coils, but the focus fire is pretty good, and the skeletons turn against the Necromancer.
1-0 figuring out here what the illusions are. There's only 3 fiends left, 3 real ones. Seems like he should be able to easily go for some sleep surrounds here, but so far 1-0 still being rather conservative with his mana usage.
Ooh.
And the skeletons are starting to rise in numbers over here. This Dark Ranger has been doing a good job, but now pretty far forward. Almost getting sleep surrounded, but no, she's actually fine. Some acolytes going down, but with 1-0 having the Necro at the expansion, he's remaking them as well.
There was 4 ghouls going down and a lot of pressure. These 3 fiends put in some damage, of course, from the back, not getting surrounded. Good positioning by Pink, always keeping them safe, and mana management on the DK is also pretty good. We'll have coils. Here's the next sleep. The Dark Ranger already in place to go for a counter surround, and a lot of 1-0's damage is ending up on these illusions. Oh, I say it, and the Dark Ranger is surrounded. Early coil, can he swap a town portal? Yes, he can. Doesn't want to give up on that second hero. Needs to use it soon, though. Not slipping. Wants to get a little more damage onto these units. Can he get another acolyte, another ghoul? Not really. And 1-0 has weathered the first storm.
And that was pretty good by Pink, right? He killed some ghouls, like a total of maybe 5 or so. And he didn't lose any fiends, only lost the TP, kept the Dreadlord from creeping, but also didn't creep too much himself. The danger of this strategy for the Undead can be mass ghouls, actually. Quick tier 3, quick frenzy, and then just have like 70 supply ghouls with upgrades, against which holding on with just a handful of fiends and maybe a destroyer can be really, really tough. If we look towards players like Scythe, they also like to play Dreadlord solo, but 1-0 is adding in a DK, so we're gonna have DK plus Dreadlord.
Yeah, healing is always good to have, and the Unholy Aura. I mean, yeah, sleep is nice and all, and ghouls are rather fast anyway, but Aura is so good. We get the laboratory creeps from both of them. We got a big mana potion for Pink, which will definitely help. He's almost at tier 3. And then I'm really curious about the timings. I like that he takes it back a notch. He's going for the red camp. So far, this looking good. He will queue the Lich and then the Orb and then go for the timing. Oh, no, this didn't work out.
A town is under siege.
Over time, I think you should still be able to get it. With 4 fiends, the damage output is decent. And there we go, that's the surround.
Good fix.
A lot of good items to find here. Endurance, Khadgar's,
Warsong.
or Warsong.
Definitely one of the good ones. Gives you +3 on each and every single fiend. 1-0 is getting ready. No, not for an ambush here. He might be scouting level 2 Vampiric Aura now. That's a lot of lifesteal, especially when Frenzy comes into play. But then the answer might be Destroyers, as we have 3 stat queues already out for Pink. In the bottom right in the overlay, you see the before mentioned Lich. The items for Pink are really, really good, and that's exactly what Todd mentioned. And there is 1-0 walking into a surround. Kind of rare to see that, but there's the staff, so bye-bye.
Forces are under attack.
4 crypts.
Yo.
Gonna be time for a lot of ghouls here soon. Destroyers can be decent against that, yes, but if you have 4 crypts already, going into Gargs is pretty easy. The ghouls snack the fiends on the ground, and then you have Gargs if you need them against the destroyers. That is the idea behind this strategy. 1-0 is still trying to get a bit of creeping done on his DK, perhaps go for a bit of run-bys. This aura, just level 1 Unholy Aura, would be a big, big benefit, but it's not that easy to get that level up at the moment.
2-1 upgrades for the ghouls already, and since tier 3 is finished, I'm scanning for the ghoul frenzy. 1-0, not wasting any time, going for a little run by with the heroes that might cost the TP over time, but Pink is not mining as the ghouls are flooding in towards the haunted gold mine.
Yeah, as long as Pink brings back his main force, this is all he wants. Like, Acolyte kills are a bonus on top, but he doesn't even need them. He wants to buy time for this enemy army to come back to the main, which is exactly what is happening. Then he TPs out, has a lot of time now across the map for his frenzy to finish. And now 1-0 is going into upkeep with a lot of gargoyles. 7 Gargs queued already. Yeah. Good luck with those destroyers.
There is web. That's the silver lining, right? 5 fiends plus
There
web.
is web. Yep. As long as there's fiends, but we'll see how long those last. We have a lot of ghouls. We have frenzy, but no heal scrolls yet. 120 does probably need some heal scrolls against the Nova.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty hard all-in for Pink. That's where he sees his best chances. Because the longer the game goes, of course, the economy advantage is just growing and growing and growing. He needs to hit hard with this very push, but it's really not going to be that easy against 2 towers and the already... Wait a minute! High ground expansion.
Okay. But for that to pay off, first he has to hold and survive the first attack. That's not gonna be easy. Dreadlord retrained. So we're gonna have Carrion Swarm now, right?
Yes.
Yep. And in we go. First Carrion doesn't hit that much. Web's coming out. All the gargoyles aren't here yet, and the web kiting is looking decent, but the Lich got surrounded, and that's 2 O Frenzy Ghouls. They have quite a bit of damage, even without Orb of Corruption. And now it's so hard to micro against this with Fiends.
Yeah.
There needs to be Frost Armor in here, and level 2 Aura. Without it, it's just impossible, unless you're happy.
Yeah, the ghouls are so fast. They're not flooding from the back. The Dreadlord is having tons of fun. Heal scroll on his side, and yeah, these fiends are gonna be extinct. You're right. The beginning of the fight was kind of nice with the web and the kiting. He was trying his best. The destroyer taking out really quickly. Another surround on the DK. The TP was lost, and there can only be one winner.
With a bit of a cheeky strat, 120 plays the Dreadlord Fast Expo, which is normally never seen on the highest level, but he is proficient at so many strategies, shows us how it can be played well here. And on map 1, this did look like a bit of an outmatch.
You thought you're muted, I think. Oh.
No, am I?
Oh, there.
I can hear him.
You're back. You're back.
I was saying, of course, Side would be in the chat when this is happening. It was a pretty good execution, I gotta say. Like, I like the whole build on this map. We touched in some of the previous playdays, actually, when Side was playing, about how on this map, the expansion is supposed to be one of the hard ones to creep, but the biggest creep, the most dangerous, the big null on the Expo is only level 5, not level 6. So sleep affects him for longer when you're creeping that. So it makes a lot of sense to go Dreadlord, if not just for that, because you get level 2 from the Expo, you set it up, and then it's a long rush distance from the opponent's base. The execution from 120 was really good. I really liked that he went into sleep level 2, and he's like, well, I expanded, I'm going to have a lot of gold, I can just retrain later on, then retrain into Carrion, and he just dominated against the Mass Fiends army, and yeah, just really well played from 120.
Yeah, I think especially like when you play against Dreadlord Fast Expo, the early game harass needs to be on point. You should steal last hits, you need to prevent level 3 or at least prolong it. You need to come in with little skeletons, cancel the ziggurats, maybe kill some ghouls, and all that while not getting the DK surrounded with the sleep. The DK didn't get sleep surround at the beginning, but outside of that, nothing in the early really went very well. Also, the Dark Ranger tier 2 pressure didn't do much. He only had 3 fiends. Like, normally you want more than that, I think. Go a bit more creeping, have mass skeletons. Yeah, it seemed like Pink wasn't ready exactly for this strategy.
Yeah, I think it looked kind of good for him, though. The first initial push, 4 ghouls immediately taken out, but then this Dark Ranger surround. I think that can't really happen if he's not losing the town portal. If he can just walk away, this might look a little different. He is taking good steps, I think, but he's not a pro player for a long time, so maybe a little nervous. We're all in, right? Okay. Maybe a little nervous. Maybe he's playing against this big idol next to Ted. Definitely the best Chinese undead that we've seen in the past decade.
Yeah, it was... Like, also, if you see something like Dreadlord on this map, it's not necessarily conventional, so it's very hard to adjust on the fly.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to Amazonia, because on this map, I think we're going to have a lot more standard play, most likely. I think Death Knight, Death Knight Fiends against Death Knight Fiend, and then just like fully mirror standard game. And then we can see how good it is overall with everything, with the micro decision making and all of that.
Yeah, we gotta say, as you can see in the lower third right now, Concealed Hill was 120's pick. He takes that one. Pink's pick is Amazonia, and that's gonna be our second one. We're loading into it, so it's just a matter of seconds until we have it. It's gonna be interesting. What's the strategy here? Will he stick to his classic Undead Mirror playstyle, where 120 has oftentimes shown that he has problems with it? Or will he have the curve already? Not making a bad impression so far overall, just a little outmatched maybe. We load in to Amazonia. Trying hard to prevent the first 2-0 of the DreamHack Summer Asia. In the bottom left, in the yellow, it's Pink. That was a weird sentence. Anyway, in the upper right, punching for the winner bracket final, the big favorite, it's 120.
And we're opening up with the same builds here once more. Standard Ted Fiend opening by Pink, and 120 again with the ghouls. Now, ghoul build into expansion is possible on many maps, but this map is supposed to be the one where it's utterly impossible. The rock golems, the mud golems, the trappers, you get creep jack, it's a disaster. What is the hero choice?
DK.
DK. Whoa. DK ghouls. Okay. We see this opening against Night Elf quite a bit on this map, on the highest level. DK ghouls on this map can creep very fast. You can go for a lightning shield right away outside your main at the lab. You can get level 2 there right away. And then with the ghouls bringing more into the middle, you can go for the 2 kobold camps. And that's level 3. And beyond that, if you want to go even harder, you can even go for lightning shield creep at the corners at the merc camp with the renegades, which have some of the biggest drops on the map. But that is all only really doable if you don't get harassed. So I'm really interested in seeing what 120's early game creep routing game plan is here.
It's really nice that Pink is hanging around with this Acolyte until he gets the hero confirmed, so he's not just taking a quick look if it's ghouls or fiend. No, he's making sure that he knows pretty much everything there is to know about 120. Good thing with the DK, you can get that lightning shield, but this is not always working, especially not when the Acolyte is distracting the ghouls and they move out of position, getting heavily punished, this poor Acolyte, but that's already a major delay.
Yeah, nicely done by Pink. And a bit of a slip up by 120. He didn't have the ghouls on hold position, which is what you're supposed to do ideally. So it was a bit of a forced error, but also a bit of a slip up by 120. And that's the early game creep route kind of out the window for a few seconds. And the tech here is gonna be behind that of Pink. Not by much, but noticeable a little bit. Oh, look at Pink's main base, dude. He's going for a spirit tower before the first fiend. Whoa! He looks really afraid.
Yeah, what could that indicate? Like a rush tier 3 to something super crazy? I don't think I've ever
afraid
seen
of getting
this.
pushed with ghouls.
Ah, okay.
Which is
Steal.
rarely seen, especially with a DK first, but okay.
Yeah, that would be quite something, but okay. If you feel a little insecure in this match, why not get a little bit of backup? You don't invest anything at the moment except mana, waiting for the big one. One was already stolen. But I don't think 120 will get will allow that as the rogue. Oh, pump fake. Ooh. Who has more nerves? Pump fake on both sides.
120 isn't sure if he has the full damage if he attacks with everything.
Oh,
And he doesn't! Oh, he still got it, though.
he still
Okay,
got
never mind.
it. Very unfortunate. Okay, playing a little cat and mouse here. We have the first fiend coming up and a lot of skeletons for Pink. So he got that those corpses, and now it's time to diminish the ghoul numbers.
Oh, scary there. That's a lot of ghouls right here. Could lead to a surround. That's a lot of ghouls right here. He's making more ghouls. 120 up to 30 supply, almost with purely ghouls.
He must
Gonna be a big frenzy timing.
Player's forces are under
It's
attack.
still a little further away. Very interesting to see both DKs so low on Amazonia. Like low on HP.
Yeah.
Obviously, and not the immediate rise to level 2 that we usually see. So we have a ziggurat. We have a graveyard. No second crypt, so no Garks. Is he just straight up rushing? Okay, he's going Dreadlord second.
What? I don't think I've ever seen that before. And I watched quite a few side streams.
So, is it just for aura?
Dude, that looks like a strat that somebody made up on paper when they got the booklet of Warcraft 3 for the first time. Oh, I have this hero who can sleep and then surround, and I have the aura for the ghouls. I have another aura for the mass ghouls with the DK and the coil. That's a great strat, let's play that.
Hey, to me that sounds pretty good. Why are you making fun of it?
Yeah, I'm sure it will look quite good in 120's hands. Has the big downside though that you don't have Nova for a long time. In Undead Mirror late game, normally the way you control the fights, the way you find kills, is with Frost Nova. So the micro here by 120 is going to be very different. It's going to be a rush, a flood of mass ghouls with Frenzy, and then looking for surrounds with Sleep and the Aura.
A player's forces are under attack.
Okay, there we go. More experience for the DK. And that could be a creep jack potential. Quite a big one for Pink if he moves north a little fast. Now we got Sleep first, by the way. Coil on the ghoul, so he can't last it this one, but Pink takes a different turn and is missing out on a big opportunity now.
And the nice thing about ghouls here always is, if you're left alone, as I said earlier, you can creep like crazy. You can creep the naturals easy, you can creep the merc camps easy, as long as you're not pressured. And I think this might be the mistake here by Pink, not playing aggressively at the moment. But it's also dangerous, because of this Dreadlord choice actually. This makes sense. If you go in with your 3 Fiends and Heroes, you could very easily just get Sleep surrounded, and that aggressive play could backfire on you hard. Oh, great scout here though. Sees with the skeleton the opponent at his natural. He has to interfere now. But, well, I guess he's too late.
Whoa, that's big level ups. That's an item that is the best item. Potion of Greater Mana. Big help in the fights. We got the double aura now with the Unholy and the Vamp. The ghouls are having the time of their lives. And once again, we see early attack upgrades for these ghouls and a Gargoyle transition.
Rune Bracers, that's not so good for 120 probably. The focus should always be the Frenzy Ghouls rather than the Heroes, as the Frenzy Ghouls are glass cannons. If they're left alone, they do crazy damage, but they can also be taken out quite effectively, especially with Nova and or Focus.
But level 3 is quite far away for this Lich, and I don't think that's gonna change soon, because where do you go after the shop
Top
creep?
left.
Kind of obvious, isn't it?
Yeah. This is where both players will be going, I imagine. This is by far the most valuable real estate on the map. We have 2 orange camps still left. Frenzy is about to kick in, right? Yeah. Oh, that's the perfect timing. The perfect timing. Frenzy finishing as these are the 2 last camps on the map. And there's double scroll already for 120. Perhaps a bit of a mistake by the Necromancer to not look for the Merc camp first and look to contest that. But he's still getting a big camp here. Still gonna get a big combat item. And getting very close to Dreadlord level 3 where you can really spam those sleeps.
Okay, Devotion Aura will definitely help to keep these fiends alive, but now it's time to slam. You got good crowd control with the sleep. It's not level 3 yet, but it's definitely gonna be good. The ghouls pass everything in the front line, trying to find these crazy surrounds again. One of these fiends has a lightning shield. That was nice. We see the new scroll of protection used here. The fiends are not falling yet.
And the surrounds so far really haven't been that good. Normally you don't need to sleep the DK, like just sleep and go for the surround, and the DK can't heal against that. Good kiting here so far by Pink, but these ghouls are still quite healthy. More and more sleeps coming in. Mana potions are still available. This Dreadlord is almost level 3, but again, Pink saves the Fiends with a bit of frost armor as well, which is very effective against these ghouls. And Pink is having a decent fight over here. But now Fiends starting to drop low again. Surround not quite acquired, but that is the kill and final level 3 for this Dreadlord. But also for the Lich.
Exactly. Another Fiend's getting surrounded here. 1-0 is displaying his incredible micro. Can he reach the shop for a mana potion? This Nova would be so big. The right clicks are quite disabled with all the sleeps, but mana is quite rare now.
And the ghoul numbers don't seem to be there anymore, as opposed to the skeleton numbers, which are rising higher and higher. Statics in the back also hard to kill with only ghouls and gargoyles. One of them was hurt though, might be able to get the kill there. Fiends coming back in, that's more swab available. And now, what is this getting out-kited? GG!
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves an upset. 1-2